Hello and welcome to the third 6 weeks curriculum preview for English 1. Our focus this 6 weeks starts with theme and symbol, poetry, and an analytical essay with a focus on expository, and then we move into author's purpose, dramatic conventions, and another analytical essay. When we consider what we need to think about, we always start with what the standards require. In the first 6 weeks, we start with standard strand 2, where students analyze, make inferences, and draw conclusions about theme and genre, and provide evidence from the text. This includes standards 2A, 2B, and 2C. 2A asks us to analyze how the genre of text with similar themes shape meaning. 2B asks us to analyze the influence of mythic, classical, and traditional literature on 20th and 21st century literature. And 2C asks us to relate the figurative language of a work to its historical and cultural setting. It's important to note that when dealing with theme, we need to deal with theme in multiple texts, not just one. Standard 3A is poetry. It asks us to analyze the effects of diction and imagery in poetry. And this includes controlling images, figurative language, understatement, overstatement, irony, and paradox. Standard 15 deals with the analytical essay, and we of course would focus on expository. 17AI deals with complex active and passive voices and passive tenses. 17AII deals with restrictive and non-restrictive clauses. 17AIII deals with reciprocal pronouns. In the second 3 weeks, we want to deal with drama first and explain how dramatic conventions such as soliloquy and monologue enhance dramatic text. 6A is literary nonfiction, and we want to look at analyze how literary essays interweave personal examples and ideas with factual information to explain, present a perspective, or describe a situation or event. We need to really tie this one to our expository essay because we need students to see how you can interweave personal examples and facts to make a point. 8A is explain the controlling idea and specific purpose of an expository text and distinguish important details that support the author's purpose. We're going to look at author's purpose, which is also going to include author's craft, and then we're going to look at what's important and what's not important. Standard 9C is make inferences and draw conclusions about text and the organizational patterns in expository text. For 11A, for procedural text, we want to analyze the clarity of the objective. Is it clear what we're being asked to do? For 11B, we're going to analyze factual, quantitative, or technical data represented in multiple graphical sources. So we'll have to provide the students many or several graphical sources and then help them see what the data shows from more than one piece. 12A and B are media literacy strands, which deal with various types of media, tone, analysis, and the point of the media. 15B, write procedural or work-related documents, which includes accurate information and reader-friendly formatting, and then again our analytical essay. It's important to remember that our Figure 19 skills overlay with each of these individual skills. 48% of the 2016 STAR EOC was Figure 19. 52% of the 2016 Spring EOC 2 was Figure 19. So skills cannot be taught in isolation from our metacognitive processes. With everything we do, we have to be questioning, inferring, and drawing conclusions. So let's take a look at what these standards look like from the 2016 STAR. 2C is relate a figurative language of a work to its historical and cultural setting. It deals with theme. So we would read this sentence, and then the author uses figurative language in this sentence to reveal not what is the figurative language or how is the figurative language, what is the point of figurative language, but what did the figurative language do? So this is really an inference question, even though it's not a 19B. 6A, which is the literary nonfiction, says read the following quotation from paragraph 8. Why didn't this look too good to be true? I guess because I was 14. So there's a personal example, And it says, in these sentences, Skippy Oglesby suggests that as a teenager, what do we know about him based on this personal example? Another 6A, by asking a series of questions in paragraph 12, the author emphasizes his what? So we're looking at author's craft here. Why did the author ask these questions? What was the point of it? Another 6A question, in paragraphs 1 and 15, the author shows what? So what did the author show by providing in those paragraphs? Note how far those paragraphs are apart. 1 and 15. Our students are not very good at locating information in different places, so this is a good example of why they have to have practice with that. They need to be able to manipulate the information regardless of where it falls within a piece. 8A, which is explain the controlling idea and specific purpose of an expository text, as well as distinguish important details. An example of that is, according to the author, Pat Summitt learned important lessons about how to face difficult circumstances from her time spent when. There's a detail. It's an important detail. Another 8A question, Tara Vanderveer thinks Pat Summitt is equipped to handle her illness because. Another detail. 8A, we're very familiar with this. The selection is mainly about. 9C is making inferences and drawing conclusions about the ideas in text and their organizational patterns. An example of this type of question is, read this sentence from paragraph 16. In this sentence, the author is trying to show that Summitt what? So you have to infer, what does this sentence mean, or what example is it showing? 9C, here is a straight author's craft question. Why does the author end the article with a quotation? What is the purpose of a quotation? And so students would have to be able to think about what that does to them as a reader. 12 is a media literacy. What is the primary purpose of the photos of Pat Summitt? Another media literacy. The title of the boxed information, A Dream Realized, best reflects the juxtaposition of which two concepts. So I don't know that they missed this question because of the media literacy. I'm wondering if they knew what juxtaposition and concepts were. So we need to work with kids about what to do when they hit a word they're not familiar with in a question. So some resources we have to deal with these standards this 6 weeks. Of course, there's always close reading. Use the text-dependent questions to dig deeper into the text or paired texts. Appendix 1, 3, and 5 of your text-dependent questions books have lessons already created for close reading of text. Text and Lessons for the Content Areas by Smokey Daniels and Nancy Steineke also has text sets already pulled for you. I would like to encourage you to use the Texas Gateway. These would be wonderful station activities or flipped lessons because they're a PowerPoint or practice or things, and they are Texas specific, written by TEA. There's a lesson on more active and passive voices. There's Analyze Text with Similar Themes, Standard 2A, the influence of mythical, classical, and traditional literature, analyzing the clarity of the objectives of procedural text, media literacy, using irony, sarcasm, and paradox, and there's also resources for all sections of the expository essay. I hope you found this helpful. As always, I'm here to support you if you have any questions. Thank you.